So here you can see the broken sway bar link. Fits in a hole down here. See my finger come up through there. So there's a missing piece to it here. This is actually a rubber grommet. So there's the actual shaft here. It's snapped right off. And both sides are the same. You can see here, if I get on the nut on top, then it just turns. So we need to tear that apart. You know, get a replacement part in there, a kit for replacing this, and then reattach it to the lower control arm, steering control arm. Okay, so let's see if we can get this top nut off. 14mm deep well, breaker bar, holding the rest of it with a channel lock pliers. Let's see if we can break something here. Wow, it's already pretty good. There it went. So I have some penetrant on here for a while. Appeared to do the trick. Let's get it loosened up a little. Let me go to a ratchet. This car's going to get a new brake hose, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm doing a brake overhaul on it next. Well, you get the idea. It's coming off. Okay, so we're pulling this apart now. We got the nut off. There's the top. You can see how these fit together around this eyelet on the sway bar. So this one goes here, and a washer, another washer down there. This thing's all bent too. Yeah, whatever force broke it, bent it up pretty good. I'm going to put them back in their respective, the way they go back together, so that I can, when I get a replacement here, make sense out of it. And there it is, top. And the piece that's missing on the bottom must have been at least this long, with a nut on the end, or a bolt on the head on the end of it. Okay, here's the parts and pieces of our bar link, which is basically just a bolt, a long bolt. First of all, a washer goes down, and a rubber bushing with a little part on top, a little raised ridge on top, and another one. Then a little slider, and another washer in this orientation, another bushing, and another pair, and then the nut. So that's the way it all goes together. To get it on, what you need to do is to raise up the ball joint on this side in order to reduce the gap here between the sway bar and the steering knuckle where it's going to fit in. So now we'll disassemble our parts one more time. See if we can get this thing in here. It's really for starters. I'm taking it through the bottom first. We've got our washer and nut. Now we're going to put another bushing in there, holding it down like that. Our little bar can go in. The last part that goes on the bottom is another bushing. Okay, at this point we've got to get it through. I might have it up a little too high here. Take there. Okay, we lowered the vehicle just slightly. It's enough to get this through. And then our final bushing is in place. And then the nut. now that we have that all in there, we can take the can lower this again. Okay, so I've done the same basic procedure on this side. I've got the jack under the ball joint, lifted it up some. Now that brings these parts closer together, and then just get on them and start working. Got both sides at once, of course. I'm just going to go back and forth now. We can take the jack out now that we've got them started, and get them both torqued up to the specs. Okay, so we're continuing to torque this down. When you start getting it pretty good and tight, get out a torque wrench. It's about 15 foot-pounds. Not a lot of torque on this nut, on this sway bar link. I'll check it now. So I think we're about there. Yep. That should do it right there. 15.